Absolutely. There's something to be said about a bullpen that comes in and does its job. It shuts the door. The only blemish, as far as the 2 wins are concerned, against the Dodgers this weekend, the only blemish is the home run that Luke Jackson gave up to Max Muncy on Saturday night. And if memory serves me correctly, that ball was not a bad pitch. It was a fairly good pitch on the outer half of the plate, and Max Muncy just went the other way with it and muscled it out. So I think it was a fastball. You want to get beat with your fastball. You don't want to leave a hanging slider out over the plate. And so that's the only blemish that happened. I think the biggest thing to take note is in this series against the Dodgers, we saw 5 relievers, 5, that were there doing short work. I believe Josh Tomlin came in
when Julio Teheran gave up 6 runs.
Yes. Yeah. Josh Tomlin came in and he did. If memory serves me correctly, I think he pitched 2 innings. And he's kind of been that guy. He's been that guy that will come in and pitch 2 innings, 3 innings if need be. But Sean Newcomb, came out and pitched 1 inning on Saturday, gave up nothing. And then you got Chris Martin did the same thing. He pitched an inning on Friday, and I believe he pitched an inning on Sunday as well. You got Shane Green, Mark Melancon, and Luke Jackson. Those 5 guys were the ones that were getting the ball for an inning. And I think that is very telling. That is very, very, very telling. In a series, in a playoff preview series, those guys got the ball at least twice, in at least 2 games. And that is a telltale sign right there, that those 5 are going to be crucial down the stretch, and they're going to be crucial in the playoffs. And I think it was also a huge sign. This is the second time in less than a week where we've seen Snit just show utmost confidence in his players. Last Sunday, we saw it with Fultonavich. He went out there. He wanted to take him out, but Fultonavich said, "No, let me finish this inning." And Snit said, "All right, that's it. Then, finish this and help our bullpen out." And he did. Well, then, Sean Newcomb, he comes out Friday and gives up a bomb, just an absolute bomb. And then Snit runs him right back out Saturday. And that's trust. That's trust. And so I really think that those 5 guys are going to be absolutely crucial. I would dare say that those 5 are going to be in the bullpen come October. You can go ahead and pencil them in. Go ahead and do it. I would say that any of the 4 righties are interchangeable. I think Melancon right now is the one that's going to get the ball in the 9th. Shane Green's the 8th. And pick your poison on who gets the ball in the 6th, Martin or Jackson. And they may play matchups. They may play a numbers game and go that route. I would look for Sean Newcomb to get the lefties out. I would look for Jerry Blevins to get the lefties out. I think Josh Tomlin will be in there as well. And, we'll see what the rest of it shapes out to be. But that was one of the big things that I saw in regards to the bullpen was they stepped up. And not only did they step up big. I mean, Shane Green struck out the side Saturday night, pumping his fist, beating his chest, and that's the most amped up we've seen out of him since he's been here, and that's huge. So
absolutely,
that's the biggest takeaway I got as far as the bullpen is concerned. Yes, it was great to see them be consistent. Yes, it was great to kind of see some fluidity, this is what's going to happen, and then this is what's going to happen, and then this is what's going to happen as far as their roles are concerned. But I think the biggest thing was just seeing those 5 guys get at least 2 opportunities in a 3-game set in a playoff preview. That's what was so huge.
And I absolutely love what I saw. And me and you were texting back and forth. I texted back and forth with my brother, who is, once again, down here in the Vance County area. But it's a situation where, for the first time in quite a while, and I mean quite a while means to me the entire season, that we actually felt comfortable when our guys came out of the bullpen. Melanson, he has a lot more bite on his slider, a lot more bite on his fastball, painting the corners. Shane Green has a lot more bite on his slider and his curve and his fastball, painting the corner. Chris Martin has a lot more bite on everything I just mentioned before. So it's so good to see that when AA went out to go get these guys, and Brian Snicker kept putting him out there in situations, either, you're going to figure something out. And we kept saying, let that one time happen, let that one outing prove the reason why we got you. And all of a sudden, we see what they can do against a potent offense. Minnesota, they had some struggles. Everybody struggles against Minnesota's offense. You're going to give up 6 or 8 runs, whatever it is. The same thing for LA. You're going to give up those kind of runs because they can hit. Obviously, Bellinger is fighting for an MVP, fighting for the National League, not only home run race in the National League, but also the American League overall, and for batting champion. And so you have these guys like a Muncy, like a Bellinger, like a Turner. I mean, you have these guys that are MVP caliber players, and our bullpen came out and shut the door, and it felt so good, and it was relief when you can say, well, dang, that was a short inning. When was the last time we could say that was a short inning? Something happened. And, you notice how Melanson the other day, where Josh Donaldson batted down the ball at third base, he was upset with himself because he got the out at third, but he shot it over to first because he kind of stumbled a little bit, and he was so upset with himself. But we see over and over again what happens when a Camargo was there at shortstop, even when Culberson was there at shortstop. The defense-wise has, in the 9th inning alone, now all through the game it's fantastic, but what happens in the 9th inning, somehow, some way, we botch one ball here, we botch another ball here, and then our bullpen has to fight for an extra out. What I love about this weekend in Melanson and our closer, because Shane Green got moved up, but that's why we brought in 3 guys that potentially can be a closer, because we had to mix and match. We thought Shane Green was going to be the full-time guy. He looks like he's starting to get comfortable in that 7th and 8th role, which, we kept saying with Sean Newcomb, do not put him as a closer. Do not put him as a starter. He was fantastic. If he had to come in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, he was fantastic. And we see what happens when you start messing with the guy's rotation of the way that he pitches every single day, that it can mess up somebody's head. We've seen that happen. So what was good about Melanson the other day in the Dodgers series was when he came out and got the first 2 guys out, we was like, oh, well, this is going to be easy play or an easy 9th inning for us. It's about time. All of a sudden, the next pitch, Josh Donaldson kind of bots it, throws it to first, the guy's safe. And so each time you give a great team, no matter what it is, a Major League Baseball team, if you give them an extra out, they're going to hurt you. We keep saying if you walk the leadoff guy, that's just obviously a free bag. So, our pitchers have to work a little bit extra. So when you can kind of take that out of the equation in our 8th and 9th inning, not only does our offense feel like they've done enough to win the game instead of getting into the 8th and 9th inning and then have to win the ball game 3 different times. It takes a lot of stress off the offense. We've seen that Acuna, Ozzie, Freddie, Josh Donaldson, even Duvall. I heard I saw something on one of our Facebook groups the other day of how Duvall, if we just keep sending him down every 24 hours, he'll come back up and then home run. That's what happened the other day. So maybe that's another thought for another day. But I guarantee you, it makes the offense itself so much more relaxed so they can have a great time without stressing when the bullpen comes in. We saw what happened when Ortega came in the ball game, when McCann, when Joyce was on base, when he comes into the ball game, when bases loaded, we see what Ortega did. The new guys are producing, and it's good to see. It's fun to see when the new guys come in and actually do something. That's what happens to our bullpen. It makes our offense a lot better. You can say I'm an offensive guy. I love my offense, and when the offense can give you, average 6 runs a game and you still lose, there's a problem. I mean, we understand that. So now we saw what in the Dodgers. So yes, they weren't taking quite as serious as we were taking it serious, but we got the win. That means we're taking 3 games off the schedule, which I'm okay with. And again, I will restate this every single day of my life, or as long as we have this show in the Bravo Time Sports Podcast. I will restate this every single day. I am okay with not getting the number 1 seed in the division or in the playoffs in the postseason, because we can get to the second. We're still going to get some home games. We might not have home field advantage, but we're still going to get some home games, and we're gonna face off against the lesser ones to get up and get our confidence up, so we don't get into the Washington game or whatnot, because they're a good team. I mean, excuse my French, but they're a good team. So I want to take my chances, win the games you're supposed to win, especially when you get into the 7th and 8th inning with the lead. We cannot let the bullpen continue giving up runs, losing the ball game, and that's exactly what we saw this weekend. What do you think? We're almost out of time already. We'll continue to go because there's a few more things that we do want to discuss with you guys. And you're tuned in to the Bravo Time Sports Podcast right here on the Community Radio Network. Trey, Snide, Mr. Jordan Crane. What do you think of the new guys that have come in? I know you mentioned the shortstop here. Ortega has come in, has 2 home runs on the season in the major leagues in his career. Then because we have some guys that been injured. Obviously, Dansby Swanson, we don't know when he's going to come back. He might come back at the end of the month, maybe. Nick Markakis, they said he was going to be out for the entire season, possibly. It looks like he might come back in sometime in September. Austin Riley might be done for the season. Now, Ender Inciarte is now potentially done for the season with his hamstring. So we brought in some new guys. We saw what Camargo, he's having trouble. It's all in his head with the defensive wise, because last year when he played every single day, he was a great defender. I mean, he was the best defender we had on the team, and I'm comfortable saying that. But this year, now he moved into the pitch end role, the backup role, and it's in his head, so he struggled. You sit him down, then you called on Culberson. He kind of struggled a little bit. He's better coming off in different situations when he doesn't have to play a whole game, which I'm comfortable with him not doing that. But then you get good old Hector, then you get Ortega, and then you get Duvall, who for some reason has to go down before he hits a home run. So continue doing. Well, what do you think about all these new guys that have made an impact? And before we move on, the Braves today just claimed a waiver off, or Mr. Billy Hamilton off from the Kansas City Royals to kind of either a pinch run situation or a late inning defensive replacement for either a Acuna that can move over to the right field. What do you think of some of these new acquisitions that the Atlanta Braves just picked up?
Personally, I think that they're good. Don't really think that Ortega's going to be around come playoffs. He's going to stick it out through the rest of the season, I think, especially with Inciarte going down. Billy Hamilton will be in AAA these next couple weeks, and then will be brought up, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but that's my guess. I really don't know that they want to go with a short bullpen. I think they want to keep that 8-man bullpen. That's my thought. And I haven't seen anything about Billy Hamilton being in Atlanta tomorrow night. So I'm kind of holding out. I do know that there was a tweet sent out earlier. I know David O'Brien was commenting on the tweet and retweeted the original tweet. I don't remember who the original tweet was from, but there's a tweet earlier that